Part 3. How to break your story. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are. I congratulate you on making it to this decisive moment. Halfway through the second mission of Halo 5, we have come to the point where the story becomes utterly broken beyond repair. So Chief falls down a well, sustains no damage, and then has a psychedelic vision. It's Cortana, and she's spewing a bunch of dialogue that makes no sense. Woo, a guardian! Then it fades out. Wait, what? Guys, this seems like a pretty important plot point. Don't you think you should have Blue Team talk about this more before you fade out? The way they respond to Chief's vision makes it feel like they're not even real people.
That's not possible.
You said she was gone.
They don't even bat an eye after Chief totally trips balls. This whole scene needed to be rewritten. Chief should have been weakened physically and mentally after seeing this. His teammates should have questioned his sanity. They should have canceled the mission and made their way back to the ship. There should have been an argument between Chief and at least one of the other members of Blue Team. This would have added a conflict between the characters, making their relationship more interesting. This would have made it plausible for Chief to go AWOL, abandoning Infinity and perhaps Blue Team as well, in search of Cortana. Then he would be chasing a vision. Everyone on Infinity would assume Chief was crazy, and as the players we wouldn't know what to think. It would create an air of mystery, suspense, and tension. Then it would make sense for Osiris to be tasked with hunting him down. This would have made Chief much more dangerous in the hunt, because now he might have mental problems and could fly off the handle at a moment's notice. And this makes the entire premise of Halo 5 plausible. Then the marketing would not be so deceptive. So there you go, that's how you could have killed 7 birds with 1 stone. But no, rather than expand upon this huge moment in Halo 5's story, using it for character development, creating tension, conflict, mystery, or giving it the time and pacing to be truly memorable, 343 pushes us right back to the horrible exposition and focuses on a completely pointless objective. Scuttle the Blargent Balloon. You've done it again, Brian. Then Kelly says something about the space station going supernova. What? According to Wikipedia, a supernova is a stellar explosion that briefly outshines an entire galaxy, radiating as much energy as the sun is expected to emit over its entire lifespan, before fading from view over several weeks or months. How does Kelly know this? Why is it even important? Is the Argent Moon really going to explode in that fashion? Nope, Kelly is just full of shit.
No signal on autopilot retrieval. Amada must have taken it out.
Well, gee, that's convenient. Maybe you should have parked it inside the hangar. You just had to have that ridiculous entrance, didn't you, Fred? Didn't you? Well, here's why that vision breaks the story. Another team is being prepped to deal with Cortana? Why would they prep a team to deal with her if they know she's dead? You see, after Chief had his vision, all the other characters in this story believe it like it's the truth. Like there's absolutely no possibility that the Chief is crazy. And we're supposed to believe it too. But we don't have a reason, and neither do the characters. So now every character's actions are based off the assumption that Chief's vision was the truth. And for the rest of the game, every character will act in ways that don't make sense, thus utterly breaking the story. Oh, and how's this for dramatic? This is the Chief going AWOL.
Negative Infinity. I don't like it.
Are you fucking kidding me? Because this is pathetic. This is what the marketing built up? This was the climactic moment where Chief goes AWOL? Could they have made this scene any less dramatic?
You're to return to Infinity immediately.
Hey guys, I'm not going to listen to you. Fuck, that's still more dramatic.
You're to return to Infinity immediately.
I don't wanna. Damn, still too dramatic.
You're to return to Infinity immediately.
Well, I'm not gonna do that. There we go, that's it. So first off, they needed to replace Infinity Comms with Lasky. Guys, I know you all love Infinity Comms and want him to have as much screen time as possible, but this way Chief and Lasky would have more character development. Show the players how their relationship has changed since Halo 4. And by this point, maybe he's getting really pissed off at Lasky. But over the comms, Lasky is able to convince him to come back to the ship. Then when he gets back on Infinity, the crew on the ship try to give him a psych eval. But Chief's not having it because he has to find Cortana. And Lasky tells Chief to give up the search because Cortana is dead. That's the point where the Chief should have gone AWOL. He should have gone crazy. So that's when he steals a ship from the Infinity and, using his Star Fox pilot skills, flies to Meridian Station on his own. You see, it's really not hard to come up with an engaging narrative that makes sense based on what 343 has shown us in Halo 5. It's just that they did such a poor job of executing their premise that it makes Halo 5 look like a fan fiction written by someone with no knowledge of fiction writing, who was also drunk and knew nothing about Halo. Alright, so why is the Chief taking his fucking time walking onto the ship? Didn't he learn anything from his first encounter with the Halo rings? Yeah, he books it up to the ship to avoid the explosion. It's dramatic, it's tense. But in this one, he just walks onto it as the explosions go on around him. So then the station explodes. Wow, that was really close. If Chief had stared out at nothing for another quarter second, they'd all be fucking dead. Now I'm just as confused as you are right now. Why did this vision of Cortana happen on Argent Moon? Why did it happen when Chief got attacked by hunters? The pacing and timing is so atrocious. Again, I can't help but think how they could have made Argent Moon more interesting. Blue Team should have been looking for information on Cortana or something. Something that relates to Halo 4 and continues that story. Then when they have to destroy Argent Moon, it's like another piece of Chief's memories with Cortana is destroyed, and he looks out the window into space, contemplating. But instead, the whole purpose of this mission is that Chief has a vision. Nothing else matters. So now we're back on Infinity, where the characters keep talking about things that make no sense. And who the fuck is this yellow guy? Who are you? And then it fades out and what? God damn it, no, go back. You guys didn't address anything you just talked about. I'm still confused, if not more so than I was before this scene. So anyways, Locke and Buck talk about the new mission, which we must assume is to hunt down the Chief.
Every target is just another target, Buck.
Oh, what, now you want to talk to me, Locke? Huh? Is that it? I wasn't good enough for you in the first mission? You coming back to me like a cheap $2 hoe? Buck says that every Spartan and soldier will hate them. Why would they hate you? It's not like Halo 5 has shown us that every human and soldier knows the Master Chief and loves him. I mean, we got that impression in Halo 2, but we never get that in Halo 5. And then Locke says,
"You're not the only one here because of him."
Okay, wait, so Buck is on Team Osiris to hunt the Chief for his own reasons? And so is Locke? Do we ever find out why? No! Brian, please, just tell me what the fuck is going on. Please tell me before the scene fades out again. God damn it! This is a violation of Storytelling 101. There's a famous principle of storytelling called Chekhov's gun, which basically says that a writer needs to remove everything that has no relevance to the story. If you say in the first chapter that there is a rifle hanging on the wall, in the second or third chapter it absolutely must go off. If it's not going to be fired, it shouldn't be hanging there. Buck and Locke imply that they have some reason to hunt the Chief other than just being ordered to do it. 343 puts this gun on the wall and then it never goes off. There's no payoff for this statement. I mean, it's pretty goddamn embarrassing when you have a multi-million-dollar game and you can't even hire a writer that understands the fundamental basics of storytelling. All right, so let me just stop the review right here real quick. All right, guys, this is fundamental basics of storytelling, like Chekhov's gun. This is like day 3 of fiction writing class 101. This is what you're learning. And it's like, do I need to go any further with this review? Like, do I really need to go any further? I don't want... Mission 3, Glassed. Oh, nice. This is a pretty cool opening shot. I wonder what's going to happen in this scene. What's with all the fade outs? Use a different transition for once. So now we're on an elevator and there's no jazzy music. 0 out of 10, I'm done with this review.
The Covenant blasted this planet in 48.
Tanaka, Who the hell asked you to start spouting exposition? I did! God, it's the same terrible writing we saw in the first 2 missions. So this mission is supposed to be like Fireteam Osiris helping out the people of Meridian. But what is Osiris helping them with? Killing the robots that are on the planet? Well, why are the robots on the planet? Why are they killing people? How did the robots even get on the planet? Who's leading them? This mission fails at its overall purpose because what the writers are trying to do is get you to care about this conflict and the people of Meridian, and to show how ruthless the robots are, I guess? I'm not even sure. But I don't feel any connection to the people of Meridian or Governor Sloan or anyone. They don't show me anything that makes me care about this conflict. Once again, let's go back to Halo 2. After Cairo Station, Chief jumps out of the airlock with the bomb and he's flying it towards the Covenant ships. It shows us just how big the conflict between the Covenant and UNSC is. You see these ginormous capital ships battling each other over Earth in space. Small fighter jets buzzing around, explosions. It's chaotic, it's war. And it shows how one Spartan can turn the tide against all of this. It shows just how important and powerful the Master Chief really is. Then we go to Earth and we witness firsthand the destruction the Covenant are capable of. We see a deadly, huge enemy vehicle, the Scarab, and we see how even its footsteps cause destruction. We see the Pelicans get shot down like plastic toys. Because of these scenes in Halo 2 and the 2 cinematic missions that set it up, we understand what is at stake. We understand the gravity of the situation. The Covenant are attacking Earth. They have a foothold on it. New Mombasa, and they are fucking shit up. Humanity is in peril, and as the Master Chief, you've got to stop it. We don't get anything like that in this mission or Halo 5 in general, and that's why we can't get invested into this conflict of robots attacking a random planet and some people die, but who really cares and why should we care? Well, since nothing interesting is happening in the story right now, I'm going to talk about number 8, the technical stuff. So if you played any of the other Halo games in the last decade, then you probably know about all the hidden things in the Halo campaigns. Terminals, data pads, audio logs, and you probably know that all these little things are there to enhance the story, the campaigns, and also encourage treasure hunting. And Halo 5 has audio logs. Yep, 117 of them. Do you think that's enough? I mean, I get it. It's a Master Chief reference. But is that really worth having that many audio logs? I will admit, I had fun exploring the levels in search of them. It made for a fun mini-game with the Artemis tracking system. But once again, quality over quantity. I'd rather have 15 high-quality terminals than 117 shitty audio logs. It's just too much of a burden for the player.
Native defense system has been disabled, but Halsey was not able to bring alert system down in time.
God, this far into the future and that's what your audio logs sound like? Now let me bring up another point. Video games have so many ways that they can tell their story. Through cinematics, through gameplay, through lore, through background information, through audio logs. Anything is possible in video games. BioShock and Halo ODST are one of the few games that really did audio logs well. Most games that have them simply use them as filler, backstory, or exposition, and they're usually in random locations, are boring to listen to, and don't really have a reason to be there. And if Halo 5 wanted to replace terminals with audio logs and have that same impact that BioShock and ODST had, they needed to do a really kick-ass job with it. But they didn't. Quality over quantity, people. That's the recurring lesson with Halo 5. Now, another couple things I quickly want to touch on is that Halo 5's campaign does not have campaign theater, leaderboards, time trials, and only after 9 months of extra development did it even have campaign scoring. There's really not much to say about this. Because it lacks these features, it takes away the value of Halo 5's campaign. And the bottom line is, with this content on day one, fans would have had much more incentive to replay the campaign. Mission 4, Meridian Station. So we're on the first of 3 hub missions. And to be honest, I actually thought this was a good idea. Giving players a chance to walk around, interact with the environment, look for secrets, Easter eggs, talk to people, learn more about the world. It makes for a nice change of pace from how first-person shooters normally tell their stories. However, as is the recurring trend with Halo 5, it's a bunch of good ideas that just weren't executed well. Also, one of the things that 343 did right with this campaign is added cool new weapons throughout the missions. It's pretty awesome when you find them on your own, and it gives the player a sense of accomplishment, so that's a plus. Now we're in Halo Hell. At least the environments in this game are pretty and detailed. It's just too bad I don't really care. Oh god, now we actually are in Hell. Oh, this might actually get good. Oh, and you know when the door's shut, it's gonna be a boss battle. Banjo-Tooie taught me that. Now, one other thing. If you play Halo 5 with subtitles on, then the surprise of discovering new characters is going to be ruined. When Cortana is talking in that vision, before we know it's her, the subtitles identify her as Cortana, thereby ruining the surprise for anyone that played it with subtitles. And the same thing happens with the Warden Eternal. It's all the little things that add up, that make up the whole, guys. And this small example goes to show just how bad the management of the writing and subtitles was. Speaking of bad writing, Number 9, the dialogue. So if I haven't made it clear already, the dialogue in Halo 5 is absolutely terrible.
Affirmative.
Most of it is pointless, expository, or incomprehensible to even the most experienced Halo fan. A lot of times characters talk like they know what's going on when they shouldn't.
Watch out for the Kraken. The Covenant are trying to use it to break the Promethean lines.
How do you know what the Covenant's plan is? What the hell makes you an expert in Covenant tactics and weaponry? How do you know Argent Moon is going to go supernova?
Another team is already being prepped to deal with her.
How do you know Cortana is alive? So when you think of your favorite quotes from the Halo series, what comes to your mind?
Halo. It's finished.
No. I think we're just getting started. I need a weapon.
Right this way. And we most definitely regret the Corps just blew up our raggedy-ass fleet! Hoorah!
When you first saw Halo, were you blinded by its majesty?
Wake me when you need me.
Tell him to make it count.
Now let me ask you, are there any moments like that in Halo 5 where the dialogue really stands out?
Negative infinity. I don't like it.
I understand.
Hunters.
Who?
Chief, look.
Maybe once or twice, but for the most part, no. Now let me explain some things that dialogue can and needs to accomplish in any story. It must advance the plot, keep the action going. It must be conflicting. Dialogue is best and most interesting when we have two characters expressing their conflicting views. It needs to reveal something about the characters and or show their agenda. Convey some sort of emotion, depth, or personality within the person speaking. It must provide important information to the audience. It should imply something greater. Characters should not always say exactly what they mean. Finally, dialogue needs to separate characters so that they don't all sound the same. Not everybody talks the same way or says the same things.
Affirmative.
Affirmative.
Affirmative infinity.
Now, every line of dialogue doesn't have to follow all of these rules, but when they follow at least two, that's a sign of well-written dialogue. Now, if you hold Halo 5's dialogue up to this standard, then about 90% of it should have been cut or revised to follow this rule. And when you cut 90% of the dialogue and the story loses nothing, then it's just wasting our fucking time. It's filler, pointless. Because most of the dialogue in Halo 5 only accomplishes the first one, advancing the plot. Both fire teams constantly talk about what they're doing next. Where's the reactor core? Where's the bridge? Where's the next objective? How do we accomplish X? And while a real fire team might actually talk in this boring manner, in a fictional story, it needs to be more interesting. Dialogue has always been a strong suit for Halo games. The audience needs characters that they can connect with. They need to understand the differences between them. Otherwise, everything just blends together and nothing is unique. If most of the characters just spout exposition, there's really no difference between them. It could be anybody telling me about the reactor core and it wouldn't change a damn thing about the story. Remember this section in the last video? You can really see how poorly written the dialogue is in Halo 5, because there's rarely a moment where it implies something greater. For example, it would have made a much more dramatic twist at the end if throughout the story, the characters are implying that Cortana is alive instead of outright saying she is. This would build the drama and tension because the player wouldn't know for sure, so the whole story would be building up to that final dramatic reveal. But instead, they reveal this huge twist 2 missions into the game, and it is ultimately disappointing and anticlimactic. Imagine if the other Halo moments were handled by Halo 5's writing staff. Fate had us meet as foes, but after this is over, we will all be Flood. And Cortana, let's fire our guns at the enemy. Cortana told me once that I am becoming a machine. Do you see the difference? When characters say exactly what they mean, it leaves no room for interpretation. Let's take a look at another famous Halo scene so you can get a better sense of what I'm talking about. When the Arbiter says,
Were it so easy,
he's implying that if he were to fight the Master Chief, it wouldn't be that easy. As the audience, we get to imagine how it would have went down. We understand the hidden implication behind this statement. The Arbiter is still pissed off at Chief. He hasn't totally forgiven him. So there's something interesting going on between them. And you see Chief jump as he sees the Arbiter, like he's ready to blow his fucking head off. Now, if Arbiter had said something like, it won't be that easy to kill me, it robs the audience of a critically important moment. That type of writing is just bad. It's boring. But that's how Halo 5 is written, and it's a big reason why the characters and story suck so much ass. It's like the writers had this problem of introducing a bunch of new characters and had absolutely no idea what to do with them. So they just wrote Blue Team, Osiris, Arbiter, Palmer, Halsey as mindless expository drones. And in essence, that's all they are. The dialogue feels like the most unpolished aspect of Halo 5, almost like it never was revised. Because anybody with half a brain could look at the script and say, yeah, there's too much exposition here. And the biggest problem with the dialogue is there's so much of it. Characters just don't stop talking. It's a constant buzz in your ear for the whole game as you're just trying to enjoy where you are and what you're doing. We don't need everything told to us. Show us the story. Show us the relationship of Blue Team. Show us the relationship of Osiris. Show us why we should care about the conflict with the orange robots. And leave the telling to the important facts. What it boils down to is the idea of show, don't tell is the very first thing you will learn in any fiction writing class. And it is something that Halo 5's writing staff obviously does not understand. Alright everyone, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you've got an opinion on Halo 5's story, and you do, then post your comments down below as always. Make sure you subscribe to the Act Man channel to stay tuned on part 4 and all the other cool, awesome videos that I like to do. This is the Act Man signing out. Peace!